Here at Target Field, a 4-1 start for the Twins. Indians are 4-2, and here are the Cleveland Indians with Cesar Hernandez leading things off. A ton of switch hitters, in fact, 5 of them in the lineup tonight. Hernandez, Ramirez, Lindor, and Santana, and then Sandy Leon doing the catching with Roberto Perez, the Gold Glover, going to the injured list with a shoulder injury. Very excited to look at Jose Barrios. We've got a opening day pitching matchup, one time through the rotation for both teams. So Barrios makes his second start. Not great in the opener against the White Sox. Did come away with a no decision.
No, but he is the ace of this staff, without a doubt. He has the makeup, the stuff, and he's proven that he can have success. He's made an all-star team. He can do it. They're counting on him to just continue to grow and make the next step. He came out of the gate hot this year. His velocity was up a tick in Chicago, and they just think, hey, he's a little bit too excited for an opening day start, but this is the guy they need if they want to make a deep run into the postseason.
26 years of age, the all-star twice. Here is the Twins' defense. They were solid last year, but Rosario's got a great arm. Buxton's got a ton of speed. They've got Max Kepler in right field. Around the infield, the big change obviously this year is Miguel Sano. With the signing of Josh Donaldson to third base, Miguel Sano moves over to first base. Polanco and Arise, the double play combo up the middle. And last year's Silver Slugger at catcher is Mitch Garver behind the plate. The bringer of rain.
The bringer of rain.
Yep.
Josh Donaldson, he cut his hair a little bit from the last few years where he was on Vikings, the show Vikings, and he looked like he was, but
very
what
Game
an
of
addition
Thrones
for the Minnesota Twins. What an addition, though, for the Minnesota Twins. Bring in the former MVP, a guy that plug him right in the middle. Miguel Sano to move over to first.
So here is Cesar Hernandez leading things off. The switch hitter will take a strike from Barrios at 95, and we'll track the velocity for Barrios over the course of the night. No wonder Hernandez is on the corner once more, and quickly Cesar is in an 0-2 hole.
Well, you'll see Barrios. He's a 3-pitch guy, 4 pitches if you count a sinker and a 4-seamer. But curveball is his out pitch. He's working on his changeup. It's getting better, but when he gets ahead, you will see him finish guys with breaking balls.
He went 2 at that time, and it's punched foul. Barrios threw 75 pitches on opening day on the road in Chicago. 52 of them were strikes, but he only went 4 innings, gave up a home run to Yoan Moncada. Struggled a little bit with the fastball command in the opener. He's ahead 0-2 here on Cesar Hernandez. And there's that breaking ball, A.J., for the strikeout.
Right on cue. The one thing to look for tonight, especially from Cleveland Indians hitters, is they don't want to get to this breaking ball. This is a devastating breaking ball, especially when you're ahead in the count. Look for the Indians to attack him early before they have to worry about swinging at this pitch, because that pitch is unhittable, especially to a left-handed hitter.
195 strikeouts last year, 65 of them, in fact, 1/3 of his strikeouts came on that curveball. Here is Ramirez, and a big cut at 95.
If I'm facing Barrios, I want to swing early, too. I want that fastball. I don't want to touch that breaking ball.
Ramirez off to an excellent start, 10 for 23. A couple of home runs on Sunday against the Kansas City Royals. Ramirez hoping to avoid that slow start you talked about, A.J. It was a little bit tough last year at the beginning of the season, but he got red hot in the second half. There's the 0-2 upstairs.
He did, and we talked to Tito Francona today about that a little bit, and he wasn't sure if it was the cold weather. I mean, it's tough in Cleveland, Chicago, Minnesota, these northern central. I did it for a lot of years. Early in the calendar, it is chilly.
There's a 1-2. Good movement on that pitch, but just missed.
And Barrios, he wanted that pitch. Fox Box had it as a strike. But you see the movement on the slider, the curveball, more of a slurvy But you do not want to hit, as a hitter, get to that pitch.
2-2 to Ramirez. And he hits in the air, right center field. Buxton and Kepler are over. It'll be Byron to make the catch in center, and it's 2 up and 2 down against Barrios. And here is, as our buddy Tom Hamilton calls him, Frankie Lindor, standing shortstop for the Cleveland Indians. Had a very slow start, just 1 for 14 on the year, and then busted out with a home run and a double during a doubleheader on Tuesday against the White Sox. First pitch to Lindor, batting lefty. There's the curve, or the slider, beg your pardon, strike.
Well, one thing the Indians aren't worried about, Lindor hitting.
Yeah.
They know he's going to hit. They know he's going to produce.
This will be feels like at least the rare year where he won't hit 30 home runs. Obviously the schedule, the main reason why, but he's hit 30 plus in 3 consecutive years. 32 of them a year ago.
If somebody hits 30 home runs this year in 60 games, it might be Hall of Fame worthy.
That I think maybe one of the best seasons ever, I would imagine. Well, a chance for a perfect top of the first inning for Jose Barrios. He's 0-2. And he gets Lindor to chase the fastball. A pair of strikeouts through this tough top part of the order. And the Twins will come up. The bringer of rain will bat second. He loves Target Field. 46 runs through 5 games for Minnesota Twins. They've had 2 double-digit run performances with this lineup. A ton of firepower from a year ago. The addition of Josh Donaldson as well. Byron Buxton is in the lineup for just the 2nd time this year. He missed the opening series and then came back on Tuesday against the St. Louis Cardinals. Tonight, this Twins lineup will face a guy who arguably had one of the 2 best starts in Major League Baseball on opening day. Shane Bieber, 14 punch-outs on opening day for the Indians.
And what a find Shane Bieber has been for the Cleveland Indians. The MVP of the All-Star game last year has come up and just been amazing for the Indians. Doesn't walk a lot of guys, gets huge strikeouts. He is fun to watch.
Deal with Max Kepler to lead things off, and he'll pop it to left field. Angling over is Bradley Zimmer, and there's 1 down on 1 pitch. That'll bring up Josh Donaldson. Give me a sense of what you think about this move for Josh Donaldson, A.J., as we look at the defense first for the Indians. Zimmer, Mercado, Santana around the outfield. Ramirez, Lindor, Hernandez, and Carlos Santana.
Well, Donaldson, for me, perfect fit in the 2-hole for the Twins. They go left, right, left, right, left, right. He has protection behind him with Polanco. Max Kepler gets on base a ton. And then you put him at third base, which allows Miguel Sano to move to a more natural position of first base. It improves your defense. And Rocco Baldelli said this guy, yes, he has an edge, but he is the ultimate hard worker, and he brings that edge to the whole team.
He loves hitting at Target Field. It has been a great spot for him. The 0-1. On the outside corner on a fastball, and Donaldson in a hole, but the other day he hit his first home run as a Minnesota Twin, and that was home run number 11 in 24 career games at Target Field. Bieber's 0-2.
To your point, Adam, Donaldson has the highest OPS at Target Field that he does of any other stadium that he's played more than 3 games at. So the Twins said, if we can't get this guy out, guess what? We're going to plug him in the 2-hole and do your damage here for us instead of against us.
3 for 17 start for Josh Donaldson. Here's the 1-2.
That pitch by Shane Bieber, that's how you have to attack him.
And you said it earlier, A.J., there's not a lot of lineups in Major League Baseball where you're going to have this guy hitting in a 2 spot and then go all the way down to number 8 and Miguel Sano, somebody who has 30 plus, is hit in that spot.
No, that just shows the depth of the Twins lineup. We've talked about it, the Bomba squad, all the home runs they hit to set the all-time record last year for home runs, but just an amazing depth. The Twins have done a great job organizationally.
Oof, that was nasty from Bieber.
3-2, first inning, nobody on. What does Shane Bieber do? He drops the hammer, and Donaldson, buckle up, buddy.
Curveball was maybe the best pitch in the opening day performance in that 14 strikeout performance. He threw 37 curveballs in that game, and he had 13 swings and misses on that curveball. 2 down for Jorge Polanco. Jorge Polanco, switch hitter, hit his first home run from this side of the plate on Tuesday against the Cardinals. Hit 22 of them a year ago. The 7-year-old waits for a 2-0. And Bieber pours it on the outside corner. Polanco better from this side of the plate, the 2-1. There's that curveball, and boy, Polanco went down to a knee on that swing.
Well, he throws him a 2-0 perfect pitch down and away. 94, dots the outside corner. 2-1 as a hitter, you're thinking, all right, I got a good pitch to hit here. And then he drops this. Polanco falls to a knee. He's so fooled.
Bieber with a 2-2. There's the curveball again, and he strikes out a pair. Both pitchers who pitched on opening day with a pair of strikeouts in a perfect first. Top half of the second inning in Minneapolis. No score, and Rocco Baldelli, last year's American League Manager of the Year of the Minnesota Twins, kind enough to join us during this second inning. Rocco, the first thing I'll ask you, after an incredible offensive season last year, how have these first 5 games lived up to whatever level of expectation you had?
Well, our guys as a team, we have high expectations for ourselves. I think every team should. But really, the one great part about working with our group is that our guys prepare every day the same way. They come ready to play. They know that we have to prove ourselves every single day when we step out here. And you never get a glimpse of anything but that from our players. That's what they bring to the table every day.
Rocco, Nelson Cruz has been amazing for you for 2 years now. How come he doesn't age?
I'm going to tell you what, Nelly truly revolves his entire life around coming to the ballpark and preparing to play. It feels like, he has his massage therapist, he has his chef, he has the people that he works with hitting wise when he's home. I mean, his entire life is revolved around performing, and on top of that, any free time the guy has, he's out there doing things for other people. He's a leader of our group. Everyone looks to him in almost every way, and he's a pleasure to be around. Love the guy.
3 balls and a strike on Santana to lead off this second against Jose Barrios. Rocco Baldelli joining us, and we have to ask you about Jose Barrios. What did you like from him in the first start? What did you want to see improved for this second start?
Well, I thought his stuff was actually really good. I don't think he executed quite the way that he would want to, and also with the short ramp-up period, kind of the unique circumstances that we're all dealing with, really didn't want to push him in that first start more than we had to. But as we can see tonight, he's throwing the ball very well. The stuff is very good, and he seems really sharp. So it's good to see. I think we're going to see a lot of different things from players and pitchers this season, things that maybe we don't expect, but we're gonna have to keep a close eye on everybody, how they're doing, how they're performing, and make a lot of judgments. I mean, we're just trying to do what's best for our players and for our group. But as far as Jose, just the way he's come out here early on tonight, it's really fun to watch, and it's encouraging when he's throwing the ball like this.
Rocco, I was with Josh Donaldson when he finalized his deal with the Twins, and I saw the excitement on his face. How excited were you when you got the phone call from your front office and said, hey, guess what? We brought Josh Donaldson in to play third and hit in the middle of the order for you?
Yeah, we're bringing in an MVP. You know, we talk about. I like to say we talk about you know, MVP-like players. No, this guy actually went out there and did it, won an MVP. He brings an intensity every day, and I think that's a great piece and a great spark for our group. He's not just an offensive player. I know you guys that know him well have seen him play third base. It's a pleasure to watch him out there, and the way he works, I mean, it's no accident that he's out here still performing at a really high level. It's what the stars and the guys that do this for a long period of time do. So, been a great addition for us.
Really appreciate the time, Rocco. Best of luck this season. Best of luck rest of the night.
Great joining you guys. Thanks very much.
You got it. A very good at bat from Santana did end in a strikeout, but Barrios got him for his third K. He's ahead of Franmil Reyes, 0-1, and couldn't get him to chase the high heat.
Got a little generous call there on Santana.
Yep.
Changeup 3-2 might have been off the plate. Ed Hickox just felt like ringing him up, but great at bat by Santana, and that's what you see from him. Great at bats. He usually walks about once a game. Great eye.
2-1 on Reyes. He's just 3 for 18 so far in the early campaign. Free swinger who really has good power the other way. 5 years of age from the Dominican Republic. He waits for this and muscles one towards shallow center field and down. There's the first base runner of the night on either side. It's Reyes with a single.
Well, you don't see it often, but Reyes actually gets jammed on a changeup here by Barrios. Just running in on his hands, and he's so big and strong. Like you said, Adam, he just muscles this ball into center field for the first hit of the game.
He's aboard for Bradley Zimmer. This is one of the interesting projects on this Indians roster. Off to a .250 start in limited duty thus far. Did hit a home run, though, against the White Sox. A tape measure shot the other day. That's part of this new swing that he's debuted, the new stance and the new swing. He's a little bit more compact. Mike Clevenger, his all-star pitching teammate, had a lot of great things to say about how Bradley can get to pitches inside in particular a little better because of that compact stance this year than he was able to a couple of years ago. 1-0. Slider in there for a strike.
Well, it's interesting the way he starts with his hands. Cal Ripken did this for a few years where he just kind of laid the bat on his back shoulder. He just has to make sure he gets it back up in time for when the pitcher delivers the pitch, but it is definitely compact. The way he squatted down, it definitely shortened his swing.
There's the 1-1. Another backdoor breaking ball in there for a strike from Barrios.
And I don't care who you are, you're not doing anything with that pitch. 2 pitches in a row, just painted backdoor breaking balls right on the corner.
Reyes leads off first. And a 1-2. A lot of speed for this guy, Bradley Zimmer, one of the fastest sprint speeds in all of Major League Baseball when he's had a decent amount of time. Didn't see a ton of time a season ago. A ton of injuries in his career.
It feels like Zimmer's.
He's the 1-2. A.J.?
It feels like he's been on that all prospect team for a long time for Cleveland. Like you said, injury after injury. He's got speed, he's got power, he can play the outfield, he can throw. He can kind of do it all. It just every year some injury derails him, and they've seen glimpses of it. They're just hoping he can get the 60 games in and do it for the whole time.
Reyes back in.
It's 2 big men at first base.
Whew, no kidding.
Reyes and Sano. NFL on Fox football right there.
Looking more like Browns Vikings right now than anything else. There's a 2-2 from Barrios to Zimmer. That curveball gets away from the catcher Garver, and into second base goes Reyes. Likely a wild pitch. Gets a man into scoring position for the Indians.
Tough slider here, but one thing about Garver, he always sits up on one knee. And it's the kind of something that's helped him with framing and getting more strikes called. But if the pitcher doesn't throw the ball right where he's set up, he has a hard time moving, especially on balls in the dirt. Used to never see catchers set up with their knee with guys on base, but it's kind of become the new in vogue thing to do.
In the air. Over is Buxton. Reyes will head back to second base. They're 2 down. Can you give me a little bit of a sense, because I'm watching Dodgers Astros the other night. A couple of the catchers, or the catcher for the Astros is kind of spreading the leg a little further out, even with runners on base. Can you give me a sense of what that does, the positioning of that to you when you're behind the plate?
Well, what it has done is it is shown the importance now of framing instead of blocking. They don't care as much about wild pitches and pass balls. It's more about, can you steal 3 strikes from the umpire? And by getting lower, and they try to get under the ball and catch the low pitch and bring it up. And Garver's improved tremendously in the framing department, but I feel like it would hurt. Now with the runner on third, it would hurt your wild pitch and your mobility behind the plate. And I never understood how a guy could throw like that.
Sure. Domingo Santana will climb.
Now Reyes on second base isn't a stolen base threat, so it doesn't affect him as much, but we saw it on that wild pitch. He just couldn't move to get to it.
Up and in. Peeled down to first base, and Jordan Baker says that Santana went around. He's in an 0-2 hole.
Sometimes all you can do is laugh because you cannot believe you think you stopped. Looked like he stopped.
Domingo had a case there, but now looking at an 0-2. Reyes at second and 2 down in the top of the second. Ooh, that one came up and in on Domingo Santana at 94.
Ow.
Oof.
Got Barrios out there 0-2 in the back of your mind. You're thinking, here comes this nasty curveball slider and gets underneath one and runs it up and in on you, and there's nowhere for you to go. Like it might have got him on the elbow, so his whole arm is numb. And Adam, whoever called that thing the funny bone, when you get hit by a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, it's not funny.
Oh man, that is as tough as it comes. Right on the elbow, but good to see Santana at least smirking a little bit. He'll take his base. I want to go back to something you said, AJ, about Barrios' fastball velocity. He was around 92, maybe 93 last year. He was pumping up 94, 95 in the opening day start. He was doing the same early in this game and continues to do so.
He's still there. We've seen a couple 96s in this game so far. He's excited. You have to understand, we're in July, the end of July, and this is his second start. Normally he'd be 15, 20 starts in already. So he's fresh. He's excited. He wants to go out and do well. He struggled opening day, and guess what? Hey, I'm the ace. I need to prove it. And you see that a little bit in the uptick in the velocity.
Sandy Leon takes one upstairs for ball 1. For Barrios, his average velo in the opening start was 94.6. That's almost 2 miles an hour above his average velocity from a year ago. And that was, for any opening day starter, the second biggest jump in velocity from last year to this year. The only guy that had a bigger jump is a guy who's been in the bullpen mostly for the Dodgers. That's Dustin May.
Well, Dustin May was throwing 101.
Whew.
That's yeah. I mean, Barrios is a strong kid. Look at his lower half. You look at his body build. He's got the velocity in there. The question is, can he control it, and can he control his emotions to keep it to quality strikes?
It's a high strike that time at the top of the zone. We talked with Jose yesterday. He was looking good. I mean, he had the shirtless or the sleeveless shirt on. I mean, he looks bigger. That was one of the things that a lot of the guys around the Twins talked about. He looks good the last year and a half.
Number one.
Reyes still waits at second base. He's singled with one out. There's a 2-1. Back up the middle and waiting for it. Running to the bag, Polanco, and that'll do it for the Indians in the top half of the second inning. Barrios leaves a pair stranded as we head to the bottom of the second. Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. Shane Bieber with a perfect first inning. He'll deal with the middle of this potent Twins lineup with Cruz, Rosario, and Garver. 4-5-6. There is Nelly Cruz, the AL Player of the Week after opening weekend, where he went 7 of 13 with 3 home runs against the White Sox, had a couple of doubles, and drove in 10.
That's a pretty good start to the season.
Decent, I would say. Here's the first offering from Bieber. And a big cut from Nelson Cruz. A little off of that from Bieber. And it's 0-1. Turned 40 on the 1st of July. We'll take a big cut once more, and it's time for the Liberty Mutual player profile. An impressive start to the season for Nelly Cruz.
That's good months for a lot of guys. 3 homers, 11 RBIs. He's 381, 11 RBIs, 1,300 OPS for a 40-year-old.
He puts one on the ground to the left side over his Francisco Lindor to get Cruz 1 down. It's interesting. Minnesota does use Cruz as the main DH. There aren't a lot of teams that really do that anymore. It felt like maybe Chris Davis for the A's, Nelson Cruz. It's interesting to watch because now we've got the universal designated hitter. Not a ton of guys that will be in that spot most days, other than maybe Nelson Cruz.
Well, if you're going to be the DH and the only one, as you said, you might as well be the best darn DH out there.
The 1 down for Rosario. 4 for 19 start. He has done well against Shane Bieber in his career. 6 for 17 with 3 home runs against the Cleveland right-hander. Breaking ball on the ground into the shift for Lindor. He's got both outs here in the second.
But just continue to watch Shane Bieber pitch. The way he carved up Nelson Cruz. He put the ball in play off the end of the bat, but he went cutter, sinker in on his hands and breaking ball. And then Rosario, just a perfect curveball behind in the count, 1-0. He just mixes it up so well. And the thing is, he kind of short arms the ball. He has a short arm swing, jumps at the hitter, makes it really tough to get his timing down.
That'll bring up another test for Bieber in the 31 home run catcher from a season ago. Mitch Garver, the Silver Slugger Award winner at that position. Fastball from Bieber is on the outside edge. Garver was not in the lineup yesterday against the Cardinals in a 3-0 victory. Alex Avila was in for Garver. Twins rotate their catchers heavily, and they're expected to do the same this year. 0-2.
Again, look at those 2 pitches from Shane Bieber. Painted on the outside corner first pitch, 0-1. And then he throws a little cutter slider. Again, perfect location, 0-2. And now he can do whatever he wants to Garver. He can go up, he can go in, he can go curveball away. So many options.
The outside corner, 3 perfect pitches to Mitch Garver in a perfect second. Major League Baseball debut all the way back in 1998 for my guy A.J. Pierzinski, who was going to go to Tennessee and instead opted to sign with the Twins when he got drafted in the 3rd round.
Man, that's a long time ago.
Oscar Mercado takes a strike from Jose Barrios. And the baby-faced A.J. Pierzinski never far away at Target Field.
I got Mr. Butera, Sal Butera behind me, Roy Smalley next to me, Jim Thome, LaTroy, Eddie Guardado.
Guardado in front of you, yep.
Next to Bartolo Colon.
I like that Bartolo's just across the aisle from you. That was great. Our man John Gordon, the great radio voice of the Twins, is in that mix as well. Danny Gladden's out there.
Aguilera, I played with him. Glenn Perkins. Wow. Blast from the past. I mean, my picture's so old it's not even in color.
Yeah, it's a very faded in color picture of you right there. Everybody else is a little bit more neon, and I feel like AJ is just a little fading, just a little bit.
A couple behind me, Francisco Liriano, who I was traded for. One of the great trades in Twins history.
There's a 1-2 to Mercado, the 9-hole hitter for the Indians in center field today.
I have to say, though, Adam, that I absolutely love my time in Minnesota. I couldn't have come up with a better organization, a better city. I came up with a bunch of just great people: Torrey Hunter, LaTroy, Eddie Guardado, Brad Radke. I mean, all these guys that I played with, Doug Minkiewicz, just an awesome organization to come up with. And
Mercado swings and sends one down the left field line towards the corner, and that will be caught. Eddie Rosario angled over towards the left field corner and was able to make the grab. There's one down.
But yeah, just a great place. Minneapolis is just a great city for a young kid. I was 21 when I first came up, and just love going back there still. And Target Field, I mean, I got to play in the Metrodome. It's a little different now at Target Field, one of the best ballparks in the league. But we used to joke that Target Field was the house that I built, you know, because after I left, they got it done.
Yeah, that was the big reason. Finally, he left. Let's make it happen now.
Well, they brought up some guy named Joe Mauer for me, so I think they made the right decision.
Mauer came up in 2004. That was his rookie year for the Minnesota Twins. Back to the top in Hernandez. But you said it correctly, man. This is a Twins organization that had to deal without Mauer for the first time last year after his excellent career. They won 100 games for the first time since 1965. Very high hopes once again coming back this year for the defending AL Central champion Twins.
Absolutely. Look at their lineup. We've talked about it, and they did a great job, I think, not only with Barrios, who was there, but bringing in the veteran guys, Rich Hill and Homer Bailey, to solidify their starting staff, give them veteran guys for some of these. Odorizzi's out right now, but he had a great year. But Rich Hill, Homer Bailey, these are veteran guys that stabilize staffs. They go out, they give you innings, and they can show Barrios, hey, this is how you do it for a long, long time.
Behind Hernandez, his 3-1. Back up the middle, and that will be scooped up by the shortstop Polanco. 2 up and 2 down here in the third. Rich Hill made his debut with the Minnesota Twins last night. Went 5 innings, part of a combined shutout for the Minnesota Twins, who won 3-0 to take 2 quick games from the Cardinals. Kenta Maeda also came over from the Los Angeles Dodgers as he picked up a win in the 3rd game of the year, the finale against the White Sox, with a lot of run support. Randy Dobnak was used as the spot starter in the place of Jake Odorizzi, who's still on the IL with a back issue. 2 down, beg your pardon, for Ramirez.
If Rich Hill can stay healthy and he can flip that curveball over that he has, he can definitely be a weapon, especially in a short season. And if the Twins get into the postseason with the right matchup, he is a nightmare for a left-handed hitter to have to face, because he changes arm angles on the curveball, changes velocities on it.
Round out the rotation, Homer Bailey was very good in his first start against the Cardinals. He'll pitch Sunday to close out this series. Deep down the right field line towards the corner, and it looked like it just went foul.
So Barrios got the swing he wanted there. He was trying to finish him in. He got it in there. Ramirez hooks it foul. Well, that opens up the whole outside corner. That opens up the back foot breaking ball. There's so many options for a guy with the stuff that Barrios has right here.
Finger put down. There's the heat and a line shot down the right field line, down for a base hit. Cut off by Kepler, and for the 8th time, I believe, the official count this year, the helmet is off the head of Jose Ramirez as he's got a 2-out single.
Well, this is a mislocation here by Barrios. He's trying to go away, throws it right down the middle. And as hot as Jose Ramirez has been early in the year, you don't want to miss down the middle. Lines it down the right field line, and yes, his helmet keeps falling off. We got to get him a better helmet.
Helmet flies off his head like nobody else. Zach Maisel is the excellent beat writer for the Cleveland Indians. He has the official counter on his Twitter. I believe that is number 8 for Santana, or for Ramirez this year. Here is Lindor with a man on, and that man on is Ramirez, who Barrios checks on. Numbers from both sides of the plate for Lindor as another check on Ramirez. I mean, this has got to be one of the best switch hitter groups for one roster, maybe ever. I mean, they've got Hernandez, Ramirez, Lindor, Santana, 1 through 4.
Sandy Leon.
Him down in the 8th spot, a 5th switch hitter in this lineup today. They've got Greg Allen on their bench, who's another switch hitter, including Francisco Lindor, who bounces one foul, and it's time for Jersey Mike's Above and Beyond. So this will obviously not be a 30 home run, 40 double season for Francisco Lindor, but it is a small group of guys who put up those types of numbers.
He's a special player. He leads all of shortstops and Fangraphs with WAR since he debuted in 2015, 27.2, 7th in all Major League Baseball. There's been rumors about Cleveland not being able to keep him. It would be a real shame.
Traditionally, the Indians, at least back in the 90s, I shouldn't say traditionally, back in the 90s, they had a trend of locking up a lot of young guys to multi-year deals to get them to sign. They tried to do that, offering a lot of money to Jose Ramirez, and then the thought was, well, can we get Lindor as well? And he ended up declining a decent deal, pretty good deal, because he's probably going to get maybe 2 or 3 times what he was offered initially on the open market, assuming normal circumstances.
It's nice to be Frankie Lindor.
Yes, it is. Not particularly right now. He's down on the count 0-2 against Barrios, who is having to work. This will be pitch number 55 with 2 down in the 3rd. Lindor sends one to right field. Looking back, Kepler, and that one is gone. Second home run in the early part of the campaign for Francisco Lindor. A 2-run shot puts the Indians in front. Starting to heat it up, A.J., after that slow start.
He's going to be fine. We talked about it. The Indians are not worried about his offense, but a mistake here. 0-2, trying to go up. Just throws it again right down the middle. That ball's right down the middle. Belt high. In his first at bat, if you remember, Lindor struck out on a high fastball with 2 strikes, 0-2. He tries to do it again, doesn't get it high enough, and Frankie just deposits it out there into all the crowd.
They went nuts out there for that Lindor blast.
It's such a good feeling as a hitter. He punched you out your first at bat, 0-2. You get the fastball, you swung and missed. He tries to do it to you again, the same pattern, and he just whacks it out of the park.
Hit one on Tuesday. His second one comes on a Thursday, and he's got the Indians in front 2-0. 0-1 on Carlos Santana. Struck out looking on a long at bat in the second. Shift on the right side, and a fastball up and in.
One thing about Carlos Santana, when he comes up to the plate, you can almost guarantee 3 balls, 2 strikes, something's going to happen. It usually doesn't happen early. He grinds at bats out. He takes pitches. He walks all the time.
100+ walks 4 times in his career, including last season for Carlos Santana.
There were times playing against him, catching against him, I was like, this guy doesn't want to swing. And then all of a sudden he'd come up first pitch and hit a home run. And you're like, dang it, I guessed wrong.
2-1 to Santana is high at 3-0.
Because he takes pitches that are so close and most guys swing at. You just can't believe that he has that good of an eye, but he does from both sides of the plate. But then when he lets it go, he can do damage.
Better than 800 OPS from both sides of the plate in his career. He's one of the best switch hitters in Cleveland Indian history. We showed you that graphic. Santana, one of the best. High leverage count, 3 balls and a strike from Barrios. The movement on that pitch, and that looked like a pitch that had been called the strike earlier, but that time it misses down and away.
And a sign of respect.
Yeah,
sign of respect from Barrios. 3-1 changeup. Well located, but Ed Hickox calls it a ball, and Santana just strolls down to first base. Another good at bat.
We'll step aside for 30 seconds. Quick visit from the dugout of the Minnesota Twins to chat with Jose Barrios. Now deals with Santana at first base and Franmil Reyes, the Indians' designated hitter who singled and was left stranded in the second. Great note from our stat man Ethan Cooperson. Barrios has now allowed 80 home runs in his career. That was only the 3rd time a home run has been hit on an 0-2 count against him. That mistake to Lindor.
That shows you the stuff. Most of his damage against him is done early in the count because you don't want to get to the curveball, the wipeout curveball slider that he has. So Lindor, again, he made the adjustment. That shows you how special Francisco Lindor is. That was 94 at his letters, but he remembered it from his first at bat, and he wasn't going to let him do it to him again.
2-0. Bottom of the zone for a called strike on Franmil Reyes. Franmil probably thinking, hey, I'm a free swinger. I'm as free as anybody in the big leagues. How did I not swing at that one?
I find it interesting today talking to Terry Francona that he said this is the guy they need to get going. He's a huge key because he hits 5th behind Santana. He looks the part.
Bouncing ball to the right side and gloved by Sano, but in foul territory.
He looks the part. He can hit home runs. He can hit the ball forever, but they need him to produce in that 5-hole to make this lineup even better.
I think the word that Tito Francona used that I loved was connector. He is the connector in the lineup from the top half to the bottom half. 2-2 pitch. There's the breaking ball and another strikeout for Jose Barrios. But Francisco Lindor, the cold start, but starting to get it going. His 2nd home run in 3 games this week. That puts the Indians on top. Two-run shot by Francisco Lindor. Indians have the lead as we head to the bottom of the 3rd, and Shane Bieber is staked to the advantage. 29 batters faced so far. He has fanned 17 of them. He's fanned 3 through 6 hitters so far tonight as he deals with the 7-hitter in the Twins lineup, Luis Arraez.
Very, very impressive start for Shane Bieber. Not only in his first start, but carried it over here into his 2nd start against the Twins.
Oof. Arraez fouls it off with his foot. That's tough.
I love the audio with no crowd, though.
I know.
You hear him go, ay, ay, ay.
At least he got the shin guard there.
The audio. Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah, it's not like audio that we're able to hear as fans has affected any type of decision making around baseball or anything like that, Len.
No, nothing
at all.
Houston, I think maybe something happened in Houston.
Sure. It's been an interesting week, so to speak. Astros and Dodgers in a rematch of the 2017 World Series. We had it on FS1 the other night. Joe Kelly and Alex Bregman and Carlos Correa and Dusty Baker and everybody getting into the act. with a couple of high-level teams in a fun matchup for a couple of games this week.
And I'm glad they got to play after all the talk. They weren't supposed to, but because of the COVID.
Back up the middle. Diving attempt by Lindor, but he can't snare it cleanly. And it's a base hit for Arise, the first base runner for the Twins against Bieber.
This kid can hit. Lindor. If Lindor can't get it, nobody can get it.
Yep.
Arise can hit just off the glove of Lindor for the first base hit for the Twins. But that was amazing in Houston. They got to play each other. There had been a lot of talk between them all. And old Joe Kelly, he ain't afraid. He steps right up and gets suspended for 8 games, which is a little much, I believe.
Sure.
Didn't hit anybody. Dusty Baker got a fine, but why did Dave Roberts get suspended?
I'm not sure if it's the institutional control angle that Major League Baseball took, but Roberts decided he will not appeal the suspension. He served it.
So think about Joe Kelly, 8 games, and if everything right, 2.7 multiplied. So that's what, a 20-game suspension in a 162-game season? That's a little excessive, don't you think?
Yeah, 8 out of 60. Especially when you hear the refrain of, hey, you didn't suspend anybody from the Astros for their part in this cheating scandal in 2017, then why are you suspending Joe Kelly in this? Again, I'm not saying one thing is right or the other, but it's interesting to hear both sides of this because of what's taken place and the time that's passed over a 2.5-year period and the bad blood that seemingly still remained, even going into that 2-game set with Bellinger and Turner saying what they said early in the year. Been an interesting week to say the least.
I just like Joe Kelly wasn't even on the team, and he still took care of business.
Here's the 0-2 to Sano, and a big cut as Bieber picks up his 4th strikeout.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night, Miguel Sano, but this is it. Joe Kelly, Alex Bregman, I don't like you. I'm going to throw one miss. See, that one to me is just, he's all over the place. Another breaking ball missed. Very a little upset, but this is great. I mean, Joe Kelly, he's not backing down. Gives him the pouty face. Correa didn't like it, but go get him. I know we're not supposed to fight, but go get him.
Here's Byron Buxton with a man on, his 2nd start of the season. And he'll take a strike. It's a perfect setup by Joe Kelly, right? During the offseason, we're quote-unquote working on a changeup and shows that he can break a window in his own house, and then it was perfectly planned so that he could get suspended for 8 games on Tuesday.
I had Joe Kelly opening weekend with the Dodgers and Giants, and he came out and threw 15 straight breaking balls.
Yeah.
And
you and Joe Davis were talking about it. His best Lance McCullers imitation. That was a great line for you guys.
I mean, he throws 100. He throws 15 straight breaking balls. And if you watch him pitch so far this year, he hasn't been able to control anything. So,
no.
Look, I think we all know what happened, but he does have the built-in excuse that I'm a little wild. But you still don't want to see 100 at your head.
Yep. 0-1 to Buxton. Popped up down the right field line. That will drift out of play. Byron Buxton, 26-year-old. One of the fastest guys in all of Major League Baseball. A lot of injury issues for Byron Buxton, though. He's aggressive, he hustles, he's hit the wall a bunch of times. But much like Bradley Zimmer, 2 high-level draft picks that have dealt with just too many injuries, it feels like, to really get going. And you feel like if these guys were healthy, Byron Buxton could do a lot of great things.
Well, the improvement he's shown offensively has been remarkable. From where he came up to where he is now is like 2 different guys.
A little flare down the 3rd baseline, but justified.
And this is a big comparison for me, but Torrey Hunter, a guy that I played with in the minor leagues and then came up, I don't know if he was as athletic as Byron Buxton, but he was probably the best center fielder I ever played with. And Buxton's not far behind him, but when he first came up, he struggled also. There
he is.
I was going to call him by his nickname, but I don't think that's allowed on Fox. But what a great teammate and just the best center fielder I probably ever played with. And then Byron Buxton has followed in his path. Torrey struggled hitting, went down, figured it out, and Buxton's kind of on the same arc.
Takes one close for a ball. Last time the Twins won a postseason game, it was Torrey Hunter manning center field. It was an injured rookie catcher in Joe Mauer back in 2004 when they won the opener of the American League Division Series. Both Mauer and Torrey Hunter, guys like Justin Morneau, they all stay very close to this organization. LaTroy Hawkins, you mentioned earlier as well, A.J. as Buxton tries to check his swing, but the home plate umpire Ed Hickok says he went around, 2 away.
What a curveball. What a curveball by Shane Bieber. This is ridiculous. This ball bounces 3 feet outside in front of the plate and still get a swing out of it. That just shows you how good of a curveball Shane Bieber has. And if you're Byron Buxton, you're just angry that the home plate umpire called it and didn't ask for help.
This is the whiff rate on his 37 curveballs thrown. The whiff rate on his breaking balls, both the slider and the curveball last year, nearly half the time guys were swinging and missing at those pitches. Here's Kepler, who flew out his first time. He swung at both pitches in both at-bats.
Just domination by Shane Bieber his first 2 starts. Well, his first start and then 2 2/3 here. Just amazing what his repertoire, how he pitches, how he sets it up, how he moves the ball around. Every at bat is a little bit different. Shows guys multiple looks every at bat.
There's 0-1. Fastball paints the inside corner. His fastball command has been rock solid so far tonight.
Everything has been rock solid.
Oh, yeah.
Breaking ball command, fastball command, changeup command. And like we talked about it a little bit, he jumps at you. He's short arm, so he hides the ball, and then he jumps at you. So that 94 plays 96, 97.
Trying to finish off this 3rd inning with a man on the outside corner at the knees, cannot do anything with it. He has faced 10 batters. He's fanned 6 of them. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. AL Central rivalry matchup, first meeting of the year between the Indians and Twins. Francisco Lindor responsible for the only runs with a 2-run home run. And it's 6, 7, and 8 for the Indians due up against Jose Barrios in the 4th. Bradley Zimmer leads it off and takes a fastball strike. First time up, flew out to center field on decent at bat. Zimmer followed by Domingo Santana, then Sandy Leon. Breaking ball is popped up in the left field. Major League Baseball is back. Make sure you stay up to date this season by following MLB on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. One down for Domingo Santana. Indians last year were battling with the Twins right around August. These were 2 teams that were still locked in a tight playoff race. Top of this AL Central. Santana muscles one the other way and shoots the foul.
Muscles is the right word. He got jammed on a backup breaking ball. Can't believe he didn't break his bat.
Yeah.
He might still be smarting from where he got hit in the elbow his first time
point.
up. This is a backup breaking ball.
Wow, look at that movement on the slider coming across the plate. So he's really attacking Domingo Santana on that arm side.
Let's see if he can sweep one away and finish him off.
Sure does. Barrios, quality sliders.
Well, that's the key for Barrios is not just the pitches and everything, but the quality of the pitches. Opening day against Chicago, he struggled with quality strikes. He threw strikes, but they weren't quality. And when he made a mistake in the zone, he got hit. In last inning, we saw that with the 2 hits he gave up. 0-2 to Ramirez, ball down the middle, and then 0-2 to Lindor for the home run.
Very good numbers against Cleveland as Leon swings and misses. 2-0 last year for Rios against this Indians team in 4 starts. Sub-4 ERA for his career. And I'm calling it a slider because it's got that horizontal movement, but he doesn't really have a quote-unquote slider in his arsenal. But that breaking ball, that curve, seems like it goes on a couple of different planes.
It goes very horizontal. Most sliders are more up to down. That ball starts out, that last one started out off the plate and broke back over the plate. Didn't get the call, but you can watch the horizontal movement on his ball. That's what.
There's a 2-1 to Leon. On the ground to the right side. Moving over is Arise. And that'll do it. A 1-2-3 frame in the 4th. Worked by Barrios.
Thanks. So
Donaldson leading it off.
For a left.
Takes over primetime Saturday on Fox. Red Sox and Yankees at 7 Eastern time, and another regional action for Pacific. Reigning AL MVP Mike Trout leads the Angels against the Astros in AL West play. Saturday at 7 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. You can check local listings for the game in your area. Shane Bieber has been excellent. Just 1 base runner through 3 innings of work. He faces Josh Donaldson to lead off the Twins half of the 4th.
So tell me, Adam, if you're a hitter facing Bieber, you go up there and you say, okay, I'm going to try and get him early, and he throws 95 perfectly down and away. Now he's ahead of you. Now he can go breaking ball away, slider away, sinker in.
Fastball in, just missed.
It's when a pitcher is this locked in and throwing with this good of not only velocity, location, and repertoire, it is not a fun day to come to the park.
Donaldson, a little fooled on that one, and another strike. It's 1-2. And he's saying that he probably, or I would imagine he's saying he held up to Ed Hickox. Did Ed Hickox feel that there was some contact? Did he think it was a foul tip or something? Must have. You can see the clear signal from Hickox, but it looked like he did foul the ball, and that's the official ruling according to StatCast. Bieber's 1-2. 96. Donaldson, only the 4th time he's ever faced Bieber. The first 2 times he faced him, he actually homered off of him. Then he didn't take the bat off of his shoulder after not seeing Bieber for a while in the first. Took a strikeout looking. "11 hitters faced by Shane Bieber so far, and 9 of them have gotten to a 2-strike count. And still shy of 40 pitches so far. Very efficient work. Here's a 2-2. Donaldson fights it off. Shane Bieber, a very impressive opening day performance from the 25-year-old from Orange, California, 4th-round pick in 2016, and he was a walk-on in college. Turned into a Sunday starter, the number 3 starter for college teams during their series. There's that breaking ball again, and another strikeout for Bieber. 21 strikeouts, and he hasn't pitched 10 innings yet.
Josh Donaldson completely fooled. Way out in front. You talked about Bieber, 2016 draft. Think about the draft for the Indians. 3rd round Savali, part of their rotation. 4th round Bieber, part of their rotation. 12th round Plesac, part of their rotation. What a great draft for the Cleveland Indians.
And how about Plesac against the White Sox yesterday? First pitch to Polanco is a breaking ball low. Zach Plesac threw 8 shutout innings. It was a great game. White Sox and Indians went to the 9th scoreless in what was a great pitcher's duel, but Zach Plesac was outstanding. It was the Indians bullpen that struggled for a rare time. Really, the Indians bullpen had been great. Really, the whole pitching staff's been awesome for the Indians. The starting rotation, every starter has gone at least 6. And for this bullpen, until yesterday, this was a bullpen that had locked in on those first 5 games. Even the loss to Kansas City, it was an extra inning loss. It's an unearned run against the reliever. It's the 1-1. Heard a couple of guys talking about that yesterday. How do you deal with that runner at second base if you're in the 10th inning? Mike Clevenger, unfortunately, was the starter for the Indians in that Saturday game against the Royals where they lost. He is not a fan. 2-1 is flown in the air, shallow left, racing out Lindor from the shift out into left field. He's got it for the second out of the inning. Clevenger basically slammed the new rule. Said, this isn't travel ball. I'm not happy about it. And then the former Cleveland Indian, the often outspoken Trevor Bauer, who got traded to the Reds last year, said, hey, but don't both sides get a chance with a runner at second base? They were kind of going back and forth with a little debate on Twitter. 2 down for Nelson Cruz. Cruz a ground out back in the second. And Cruz breaks his bat. Lindor to his left. Shane Bieber locked and loaded. 4 shutout innings, only 1 hit allowed, and we head to the 5th in Minneapolis. Oscar Mercado takes a breaking ball low to start off the top half of the 5th inning, batting in the 9th spot for the Indians, who lead 2-0. Jose Barrios gave up a Lindor homer in the 3rd, walked Carlos Santana, but has retired the last 4 since, trying to settle in. Fastball misses outside. Talk to me a little bit about the quality pitches that you want to see from Jose Barrios, AJ, if you're Rocco Baldelli.
Well, you want to see quality, not only just the amount of strikes, but the quality of strikes. And we showed it. The 2 0-2 pitches is where he's gotten hurt.
Lifted in the air. Buxton easily over to the warning track for out number 1.
When he gets ahead in the count, instead of 0-2 down the middle, he needs to miss or get him to tease. He has a huge chase rate. People chase his pitches. The highest chase rate in Major League Baseball last year, 48% of the things he threw, people swung at. So when you get ahead, that's your time as a pitcher to get aggressive and kind of play with the hitter. Instead, he tried to go 0-2 fastballs both times and made mistakes. You need to make not only good pitches when you're behind in the count, but quality pitches in the strike zone and around the edges of the strike zone.
Back to the top end, Hernandez. There's a good pitch for a strike through the back door. 0-1 on Hernandez.
Think about if you're Jose Barrios. You've given up 2 runs and 4 1/3, but you look out on the mound on the other side and you're like, this guy might not give up anything.
And we got the opening day starters for both of these teams. One time through the rotation on both sides. Indians had to do a little bit of adjusting with their rotation because their Monday game got postponed to Tuesday into a doubleheader. So 1-1 to Hernandez. And left field line out of play. Adam Plutko ended up getting a spot start for the Indians. That's why we were lucky enough with the way the schedule panned out to have Barrios and Bieber in a showdown of opening day starters in the 2nd week of this season. There's a 1-2 to Hernandez. As we welcome back baseball, Major League Baseball would like to honor, remember, and thank the frontline heroes who continue to lift up their fellow citizens during this COVID-19 pandemic. We certainly appreciate your efforts and everything you're doing for all of us. Obviously, COVID, a major storyline suddenly in Major League Baseball after the opening weekend. The Miami Marlins and a slew of their players testing positive for COVID-19, what could be considered an outbreak, has drastically affected the schedule, with games earlier this week being postponed. Both series with Philly and New York and Miami and Baltimore were postponed. So right now the Yankees are playing the Orioles in a little bit of a shift. It is a little bit like travel ball, as they're like, all right, well, we can't play this team. Let's just play the other team.
I know every time I look at the scoreboard on my MLB app or Fox Sports app and it has the Yankees and the Orioles postponed, but then I scroll over and they're playing each other. So
yeah, that's right.
We got to come up with a better way to do that, even in Target Field.
Here's your scoreboard update, by the way, for all of you sitting at home. It's Nats beating the Toronto Blue Jays in Washington, D.C. at Nats Park, with the Blue Jays as the home team in that contest when Jin Ryu got the win. Took the loss, beg your pardon.
It's like spring training, you know?
Yeah.
Split squad. The Orioles,
split squad games, that's right.
The Orioles were split squad, and so are the Yankees right now.
Well, I mean, depending on the Miami Marlins roster coming up, you may see some 77s and 94s and 82s on their roster at various points. 3-2 pitch to Hernandez, and he finally got him on a good at-bat. Barrios gets his 6th strikeout of the game.
Good changeup here by Barrios. Good at bat by Hernandez, but he wins it with just a changeup that dives down and away. Hernandez gets a piece of it. Garver hangs on for the strikeout. That's the repertoire, though, Barrios. You see the quality in the pitches. You see the movement. You see the stuff.
2 down for Ramirez, who singled and scored in the 3rd. Barrios just missed down and inside. About a third of Barrios' pitches last year were the fastball. About a quarter of them were the sinker. And he relied on the curveball a lot. That was his 2nd most used pitch, that breaking ball that was on a multi-plane. Changeup about 16% of the time, but he's got a strikeout on that pitch a couple times tonight.
Well, when we talked to him yesterday, he said he's kind of trying to get away from the 2-seamer and throw more 4-seamers. Because he believes that's the new thing, right, in Major League Baseball is 4-seamer over 2-seamer. Hitters are more geared down than they ever were with their swing planes and the trying to get the launch angle. So how do pitchers combat it? You've seen it with Garrett Cole. You've seen it with Justin Verlander. You've seen it with a lot of guys that have had success going away from the 2-seamer back to the 4-seamer.
Rio to Ramirez. He is going to swing away and line one towards the corner. You see a lot of that now too, A.J. Everybody feels like 3-0 might be the only count where you now get a fastball at a guaranteed rate, so to speak. There's a lot of counts that used to be fastball counts that just don't seem to be.
There's no such thing.
Yeah.
Even 3-0 now, if you watch, if they think he's going to swing, you'll see changeups, you'll see breaking balls, especially from relievers. Joe Kelly's a possibility. He could throw a 3-0 slider for sure.
3-1 to Ramirez, and a breaking ball is line foul.
See, there you go, Adam. You think, all right, 3-1, nobody on base, 2 outs. He's going to challenge me with 95, and he throws a slider.
Yep.
Ramirez is dumbfounded, like, what is going on? Now he can do whatever he wants. I wouldn't be surprised to see him throw another 3-2 changeup right here. You hate that as a catcher. You set up in, the hitter gets a free peek at where you're going. You're like, oh no, and I got to try something different.
Adjustment here for a 3-2. He tried the breaking ball around the shoot tops, and Ramirez will take a 2-out walk. His 2-out single in the 3rd set up Francisco Lindor's home run. This time a 2-out walk to reach base.
Well, see, that's the cat and mouse game. So they wanted to throw him a 3-2 heater in. Timeout. He gets a peek at the catcher set up in. Garver says, okay, well, I'm going to go back in there. Barrios shakes his head to the breaking ball and a walk. And so are you better off just going back in there, trusting that Ramirez didn't see, or you try and do what they do and switch it up, and then you end up walking?
Lindor struck out swinging in the first, came back with the homer in the third. And he'll take a big home run cut at the heater. This was the homer back in the third inning.
Just 0-2 right down the middle. Mislocation. He got him again on the first time up. 0-2 fastball up. He just didn't get it high enough. And an all-star Silver Slugger, Gold Glove winner like Lindor, he deposits into right field seats.
Very good numbers from both sides of the plate. And he has done it from both sides of the plate with a lot of power. Most home runs through the age 25 season, and Lindor climbing. Quick toss over to first. Close play, but safe.
Those are pretty good names to be associated with.
No doubt. Lindor, 26 years of age, from Puerto Rico, but moved with his family to Florida at age 12.
Orlando.
That's right.
Verde Academy, right down the street from where I am.
0-1. Like you, he almost ended up playing at a big-time baseball school, Tennessee, with a great program. You almost landed there before signing. Same thing with Lindor. He almost ended up playing for good old Levin. Mike Martin, one of the great college baseball coaches of all time at Florida State.
I'll let you in on a little secret. I'm a Florida Gator fan, so Mike
I
Martin.
know. I just wanted to jab that in there for you.
Mike Martin was a great guy, but
yep.
Can't root for him.
I got you. Well, two very good baseball programs
Absolutely.
out of the state of Florida, the Gators and the Seminoles. Two very good, real quick, softball programs as well. All right, they swing the sticks very well in Tallahassee and in Gainesville on the dime regardless.
Yes, they do. Is there anything better than watching college baseball and college softball? The excitement.
Kind of feels like super regionals at times right now. I was actually thinking about that with this expanded playoffs now. You're going to 16 teams. You got the wild card round that's going to be played at the home site of the top seed. That feels like the super regionals in college baseball now.
Oh, yeah. Can we get the helmets off when they hit home runs? And
Absolutely.
The whole team at home plate and the chants like they have in softball.
I would love that.
You could hear them with the no fans in Major
No
League
doubt.
Baseball.
Absolutely. We're going to do it. Now's the time. Time for a 2-1, and Lindor smokes it towards right, but playable for Kepler. Good job to run that ball down and leave Ramirez stranded. As we head to the middle of the fifth, we're halfway through. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by T-Mobile, America's largest 5G network. Land of 10,000 lakes, one of great cities in America. Twins hosting the Indians in the first game between these division rivals this year. The pitch count much different for Bieber to Berríos. Bieber 4 very efficient innings. Berríos has had to work a little bit harder, has only given up the home run to Lindor, but getting close to 100 pitches. And we did see Zach Littell loosening for the Twins in the last half inning, so we'll see if Berríos goes any further tonight. You would expect Bieber to go for a little while because he's only at 47 pitches as you see Littell for the Twins.
Well, that meeting I just saw with Rocco Baldelli and Berríos tells me he's done.
Yep.
Anytime the manager walks over, pats a guy on his shoulder, gives him that look that we showed, that usually means he's finished.
For Berríos, 2 starts not as efficient as you would like to see, but for the most part, he has kept his team in both games. That's the start for Berríos in this 2020 season.
Well, not a bad start with, again, limited because of the rapid restart, but 5 innings, 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 mistake.
Ground ball to the right side. And Rosario is down. Bieber continues to roll through. The only base runner was Arise. Leadoff single back in the third. Other than that, nothing doing for the Twins tonight.
Well, you said it. The problem for Berríos is not his pitching. It's the fact that this great Twins lineup can't hit Shane Bieber. 0 mistakes from him. Efficient, ahead in the count, getting strikeouts, doesn't fall behind, doesn't walk anybody. There's just no way to attack him right now because he's not making any mistakes.
Base is empty, 1 down for Garver, who struck out looking his first time. Shane Bieber, you mentioned the 14 strikeouts on opening day. The last Indians pitcher to even come close to that on opening day was Gary Bell, who struck out 12 in an extra inning game in 1960. There's an 0-1, and that drops in for a called strike. And obviously we know the Indians, their opening day history is about as rich as anybody's, with Bob Feller in 1940, the only opening day no-hitter in Major League history, let alone Indians history. So to have that type of performance the first time out, as strange as these circumstances may be, very, very impressive for Bieber. And he's followed it up well so far. The thing is, we talk about that breaking ball, and it continues to work. 8 strikeouts, although Garver had something to say to Ed Hickox about the last one.
Just fooled him. Front door, a mistake actually. Doesn't look like it, but that's a mistake. Sandy Leon set up away, breaks over the inside part of the plate. Garver can't believe it, because you look back as a hitter, you look back and you see the catcher and you see him move that much. Usually they don't call that a strike, but Ed Hickox rings him up, and just another strikeout for old Shane Bieber.
Here's the only man who's reached against him in a rise, and he went right after that first fastball.
Well, why would you wait around?
Yeah.
If I'm going up there off Shane Bieber, I'm saying, okay, I want the first good pitch I can hit, and I'm looking for either a fastball or off speed and trying to get it over early with.
Fastball off of Bieber, but it's right there for him. He'll recover and retire the side in order. 1 base runner so far through 5 strong innings of work from Bieber. Was talking about it. We both downloaded it. The brand new Fox Sports app debuted this past week. It is sleek. It is modern. It's the ultimate app for fans today. It's available right now. You can download it now. Talk about some teams to watch in September. These 2 teams expect to be there. Zach Littell could be a big piece in this bullpen. He's on for just the 2nd time this year. 6 relief wins a year ago. Decent strikeout totals.
Well, they're just looking for length right now to keep them in the game. Hold the Indians at bay until their offense can figure out a way to get to Bieber, but mostly fastball, breaking ball, 50-50. And a really nice find for the Twins last year.
Picked up in a trade from the Yankees. Made his debut in 2018. He'll face Carlos Santana to lead things off in the top of the 6th. He's been a starter in his career. Littell deals. Missed to make it 2-0 on Carlos Santana, who has struck out and walked tonight. That was against Barrios. In there.
See, that's the pitch. When you're catching and Carlos Santana's hitting, he takes 2 sliders that are pretty good, and then you're thinking, okay, 2-0, he's going to try and swing. He takes 2-0 fastball right down the middle.
Yeah. As patient as they come, truly. The 2-1. Fouls it at the plate. Guys talked about Carlos and how when he came back to the Indians last year, he really tried to create a routine for himself for the first time in his big league career. 2-2. On the left, racing over, and there is Rosario. Retire Santana. I'm curious about that, because reading about Carlos, kind of hearing guys talk about him, he didn't really, for as successful as he was, he didn't really have a great routine. Goes to Philadelphia, doesn't love his time there. Gets traded to Seattle, flipped back to Cleveland, never appeared for the Mariners. And then he shows up last year, he creates a routine for himself, and he has one of the best seasons of his very solid career.
I can't believe you're telling this story, and I cannot believe that that's the case. For the success he's had and being a former major league player, in the routine, how important a routine is every day and what you do, and such a long season. For him to say he didn't have one and now he's found one, it's almost impossible for me to comprehend.
Yeah, it's kind of scary considering, wow, you did all that without a routine. Now the last 2 years you've had one. And how dangerous can Carlos Santana continue to be? He'll be very important for the Indians, obviously, in the top half of this lineup.
And remember when he was a catcher? As a catcher, if you don't have a routine as a catcher, I don't know What do you do all day?
0-2 on Franmil Reyes, who has singled and struck out. North Carolina native Littell deals, and misses down and away. Comes home with a 2-2. And fastball is skied out of play.
Is it still odd for you, Adam, when you see these games and we show the low third or the low first, we show the hitter from the side, and we can see the other players sitting in the stands during these games?
It's so jarring, right?
Forget the cutouts. We show the low third or the low first camera, and you see players sitting under tents.
Trying to socially distance as part of the protocols this year in 2020. 2-2 pitch. On the ground towards the hole and through, a base hit for Franmil Reyes. So he had 3 hits in 18 at-bats to start the year. He's got 2 and 3 tonight. There are some more of those cutouts, as you can clap or cheer for your favorite team even when you're not at the ballpark. You can do it with MLB's Cheer at the Ballpark. Visit MLB.com/cheer for a full list of cheerable games and let your team hear your excitement from home.
Or be one of those fans.
Normalcy. Yeah, a little sense of normalcy from the virtual fans. Zimmer.
So we showed the last set of cutouts. Jock Jones, with ex-teammate of mine, was in there, and Gene Larkin, a friend of mine from Minnesota, that got the game-winning hit in that epic Game 7. I mean, I could just, because coming up with the Twins, not knowing anything about them, then you get to learn their history, and just seeing some of those faces is just blast from the past. Rick Stelmazik, our bullpen coach forever. Al Newman, it looks like, our third base coach.
What a great history for this organization. 1-0. Zimmer chops it towards the right side. The first baseman, Sano, over, and his first toss goes over the head of Littell. Reyes will cruise into third base, and on to second goes Bradley Zimmer. So Sano making that transition this year. Test that time on the slow chop to the right side, unable to get the play done cleanly.
Well, people say playing first base is easy. Look how far he has to go, and you know Zimmer can fly. We talked about how fast he is already. So he has no play at second and just a tough play at first. Sometimes you just have to eat the ball and give the offense credit. Instead of making it worse, he makes a bad throw, and now instead of first and second, one out, second and third and one out. And that's just something he'll learn with time. That, hey, sometimes you do have to eat the ball.
Now with 2 on, the infield will play in behind Littell. Zimmer at second, Reyes at third, and Domingo Santana to the plate, 0 for 1. Will go down as an infield single for Bradley Zimmer, but the error by Sano will advance both runners into scoring position, and a chance for the Indians to tack on to this 2-0 lead in the 6th. 7 errors for Sano in 31 starts at first base now in his career. A guy who's been shuttled around. Remember, he was the main third baseman, obviously was very excited to move over to first base. He called Josh Donaldson during the recruitment period where the front office was trying to get Donaldson. Sano was one of the guys who called Donaldson and said, "Bro, you need to be a part of the Bomba squad. I'm only going to move to first base for you." So 1-1. Way upstairs.
Well, that's respect from Miguel Sano, but then again, Josh Donaldson, former MVP, is pretty good. I think you should probably move for him. But this is an important at bat here for the Minnesota Twins, because if Santana somehow drives in a couple of these runs here and it's 4-0 against the way Bieber's pitching, this game could be over.
Big 2-1. Santana pops it up. Not a play foul, and it's 2-2.
There is zero room at Target Field for foul balls.
Got to be one of the smaller backstops or shorter backstops, right?
Oh, absolutely. They did such a great job with target field, but they put it on such a small piece of land. There is practically no room anywhere. When you're in the on-deck circle, you feel like you're standing in the batter's box.
You really feel close to it just from that shot from behind home plate with the infield in. Littell to Santana, downhill with a 2-2. Oof, very close pitch and a good take by Domingo, and the count runs full.
Well, everybody except for Ed Hickox and Domingo Santana thought this was strike 3. Garver thought he stole it. Littell thought it was a strike. Santana does a great job of playing it off.
Here comes the payoff pitch to Domingo Santana. And the bases are loaded for the Indians with Leon coming up. Interesting spot to try to navigate. And again, if this is mid-April, first time you're playing the Twins out of 19, playing the Indians out of 19 games, you might have another shot tomorrow. 60 games, only 10 meetings. The value, and I know 2 teams from each division get in, but the value of these games is only added significance to them with this shortened schedule.
Oh, I mean, these are the 2 teams everyone's thinking are going to be competing for 1 and 2 in the division, and every one of these games means so much more because of the limit. But
so here is Leon. It's a breaking ball for a strike.
So you see that first pitch strike and a pinch runner. Greg Allen in for Domingo Santana for pinch running and also for defense. But you see that pitch, that's a worse pitch than the one that he didn't get called against Santana. So they're him and Garver like, what is going on?
Yep. Jam foul, and it's quickly 0-2.
And yes, it's a walk. Second and third, 1 out. Yeah, it's a walk. You load the bases, but you also set up a double play with Sandy Leon, the catcher. It's not the worst thing in the world. Instead of giving up a possible hit, if you walk a guy right there, it's okay. You can live to fight against the next guy.
The 0-2. On the ground. Oh, it was knocked down by the pitcher Littell. They'll get a huge force at home. The throw to first is in time. As easy as 1, 2, 3 to get out of the inning. Littell comes up, knocking that ball down. Was able to recover it, get it down to Garver, and the relay to first keeps the Indians off the board. No-hitter on opening day in 1940, but he followed it up, allowing 6 runs in just 3 innings against the Tigers. None doing like that for Shane Bieber, considering the impressive and historic output he had in his first start. He is almost equaling that tonight, just in terms of efficiency through 5 innings of work.
You can't ask for a better start from Shane Bieber. 11 innings, 22 punchies, 1 walk, 5 hits. And just filthy stuff to every guy. Miguel Sano shaking his head.
Yeah, even though it was a ball, he's still just kind of, wow, that was something. Slow start for Sano, just 1 for 15 out of the gate. Remember, Sano's coming back from a positive COVID test on the 4th of July. He was administered a test and it came back as a positive, so he had to quarantine, and that certainly slowed his ramp up to the start of the year. Sano swings at a 2-0 and pops it up. Lindor will back out and call everybody off for the first out.
So Sano off to a rough start, gets 2-0 off Bieber. 2 breaking balls, he's 2-0. He's like, okay, here we go. I'm going to get a fastball down the middle, and he gets a little cutter at 89 that he hits right off the end of the bat for another easy out. Just all the weapons are there.
Yeah, it was only the second 2-0 count for Shane Bieber all night. Polanco in the first inning was down 2-0. He ended up striking out. Now 2-0 to Sano. He pops out on the next pitch. Buxton laces one to left field. A base hit for Byron Buxton, his first of the season.
Jump him early. Hanging breaking ball. Byron Buxton just rips it through the 5-6 hole. Only the Twins' second hit. Now we get to watch him try and time up Bieber and steal second possibly, because he's one of the best at it.
Back to the top of the Twins order. Here is Kepler, who's 0 for 2. Buxton, one of the fastest players in all of baseball, probably one of the 2 or 3, depending on which metric you look at. He's top 3 in just about every speed category. An excellent base stealer and reader. Until Robinson Chirinos of the Astros last year caught him, he had made 33 straight steals. Does not go on the first pitch, takes the secondary lead, but heads back on a ball low to Kepler.
But watch how Buxton affects everything. He'll affect the pitch calling of Sandy Leon. He'll affect Bieber's motion. He'll try to speed up because he knows the threat is over there, which in turn might get Max Kepler a better pitch to hit. It's amazing how speed can affect the game, especially elite speed.
1-0. Ooh, Kepler chased that one in the dirt.
Even though it's 1-1, you saw the first 2 pitches. Bieber tried to speed up his motion through 2 pitches in the dirt. He hasn't thrown 2 pitches like that the whole day, except for when he's wanted to.
Kepler hit 2 home runs in the first 2 at-bats of the year. In fact, first pitch of the season against Lucas Giolito he took out. Since then, he's 1 for his last 18 is Max Kepler. Trying to keep the line moving with the speedster Buxton at first. Kepler representing the tying run at the plate here in the bottom of the 6th against Bieber. He's outside.
If I'm the catcher, if I'm Sandy Leon, I'm going out to Shane Bieber and saying, look, I'm probably not going to throw out Byron Buxton anyway, so just make your pitches and try to get the hitter out. Now, Sandy Leon throws better than I did, but that would just be my philosophy. Let's just not let him. Let's not let him steal third, okay?
Yeah, exactly. 2-1, and Kepler takes it the other way. That'll drop down for a base hit. Buxton will have to hold up at second. Ramirez had to race over out of the shift to cover the third base bag. That's how fast Buxton is. And now the tying runs are aboard for the Twins with only 1 out in the 6th.
Nice swing. Just take what he gives you. Fastball out over the plate. Just slash it over to left field for a single. And again, it's just the speed of Buxton out there. Gets in Bieber's head enough to where, hey, he missed, he fell behind in the count, he gets a good pitch to hit, and he takes advantage of it. Now the Twins are in business.
Absolutely, A.J. Now Donaldson to the plate with 2 on and 1 out. He represents the go-ahead run. He has fanned twice against Bieber today. Donaldson fouls it at the plate to start. 34 years of age. Drafted out of the SEC as a catcher out of Auburn, traded to the A's, made his debut in 2010, moved around a little bit, went to the Blue Jays before the 2015 season where he had that MVP campaign. Come back last year in the National League with the Braves, 37 homers. And 0-1 to Donaldson. Big cut on that breaking ball, and he's down 0-2.
So notice the difference in Bieber's first 2 pitches to Donaldson with Buxton on second compared to when he was on first. Yes, Buxton will steal third, but you have Donaldson up with a chance, 1 swing to put him up 3-2. He's not going to take a chance making the second out, stealing third. Bieber knows that, so he can concentrate. And the first 2 pitches have been much better than when he was more of a threat to steal second when he was on first.
The 0-2. Tried him outside. Donaldson did not chase. Polanco on deck. You said it, Josh Donaldson, a guy with an edge to him. Never really feels relaxed. He's kind of on his toes, ready to go. The 1-2.
Good take right there. Got him to swing the first 2 pitches at those, and then adjustment by the former MVP.
There's a 2-2, and first a look at second to make sure Buxton stays. Even a half a step makes a difference with a guy like Buxton.
The good thing about there being no real crowd there, we don't have to hear someone in the crowd yell, "Balk!"
I imagine there's a lot of things that would typically be yelled from the crowd that no longer are bothering a lot of these guys. Showdown at second, and now a showdown at home. Donaldson takes, and after being down 0-2, he's run the count full. He says he doesn't have room for a slow start this year. Game 1's going to mean a lot. Game 2's going to mean a lot. These games early on need to be treated as we're in a playoff hunt. We have to make sure we come in every single day with winning as number 1 on the priority list.
So do you send Buxton here? Do you send Buxton and Kepler?
Take the risk with 1 out.
Leon's talking about it with Bieber. Hey, do we throw 3-2 slider, 3-2 curveball here? Lindor wants to know what the signs are, what he's going to throw so he can cheat. These are the bats and the moments in games, even though it's only the 6th inning, that can change the outcome. One good pitch, strike them out, throw them out, whatever it is, a walk, lead to different outcomes.
Donaldson, both 3-ball counts issued by Bieber, he's seen, including this 3-2 count with 1 out in the 6th. He just fights off that good Bieber curveball foul.
And I love that he's talking to himself after this swing. That is such a hard pitch to get a piece of. Now he's thinking in his head, all right, is he going to rush me up? Is he going to try another breaking ball? Just hope he makes a mistake if you're Josh Donaldson.
The go-ahead run is Donaldson, 3-2. And he waves and misses. Right back to the breaking ball for strikeout number 9 for Shane Bieber. That might have been the biggest one of the night.
The sequence here by Bieber. First pitch, swing, good breaking ball, 0-2. Now Donaldson fights back. Kind of a non-competitive one, but in a good breaking ball, he takes it, just misses. He wanted it. Nice job, and then he finishes him. What he did, he got him 3-2. He got him to swing at the breaking ball. He just got a piece of it. So what does Bieber do? He throws it just a little bit shorter and a little bit slower, and it gets Josh Donaldson, instead of getting a piece of it, to swing and miss. And you could see the frustration in Donaldson as he walked back to the dugout. He wanted to snap his bat. He was so just frustrated because Bieber made such good pitches.
Here's Polanco. Right back to the curve to start him off. Drops in at 82 for a strike.
There's the edge. There's the frustration.
Absolutely. 3 strikeouts tonight for Donaldson. 3rd of them from Bieber this evening, who's only at 71 pitches as he tries to finish off a 6th inning scoreless. The 0-1 to Polanco. In the air. Center field, backing on it, Mercado. It's playable, and the inning is over. 2 men get on base against Bieber, but he wiggles his way out of the jam again. Tonight's game, part of the Fox Bet Super 6 contest. You can predict the winners and run differential of 6 games for a chance at $10K for this game. Most popular pick, Twins by 2. That's what the Super 6 users were thinking. Right now it's Indians by 2 as we head to the 7th. And a first pitch lineup, Donaldson's right there. And on one pitch, the 9-hitter Mercado is retired after Donaldson struck out to close out the 6th inning. Minnesota with its best chance getting 2 on base against Bieber in the 6th, unable to put a run across. And now Zach Littell working into his second inning of relief.
Well, the people that picked the Twins.
First pitch to Hernandez back at the top. He's struck out a couple of times, grounded out as well. Cesar Hernandez, excellent addition at the top of this Cleveland lineup. One of the best bunters in the game. A guy who sees about as many pitches as anybody in baseball. Signed a one-year deal after 7 years with the Phillies. Venezuelan native waits for a 2-0 in their first strike. Hernandez doesn't bunt a ton, but he's one of the best. Had 4 bunt base hits last year and 4 tries. Tries to put the ball in play and use some of that speed. Two. It's a toughness to Hernandez that you have to respect. A couple years back, you remember he fouled a pitch off his right foot. Midway through the season, he broke his foot but ended up playing with that broken foot for most of the second half. Wasn't serious enough, but still. Payoff pitch. And Hernandez is aboard with a 1-out walk in the 7th. MLB.tv brings you every regular season out-of-market game live or on demand. You can stream games, highlights, and recaps in HD online on your favorite devices. You can visit MLB.tv.
You're talking about Hernandez. He's like, we used to call him a flea.
A pest, right?
A pest. We call him a flea. If you're going to be a flea, be a great flea, and he's a great flea.
That was a little close there from Sano. He didn't go sliding in, but he went in safe standing. Yeah, between all the pitches he sees, between laying down a surprise bunt for a well-executed base knock, and then scoring a bunch of runs, and you'd expect that with some good hitters behind him. He is truly a pest at the top of that Cleveland lineup. A good signing.
And he has occasional pop, too. Let's not forget.
Absolutely.
He's not a bunt and slash guy. The Twins are thinking about taking a look at this. Hernandez is too busy putting his wrist guard on. And
ooh.
Might as well, right? 7th inning.
I mean, if that glove is on his helmet, it looks like his foot was off the bag for that split second. And the challenge is out there from Rocco Baldelli. This could be a big second out in the 7th. Check back in with the folks in Chelsea in New York. A little bit of a shift this year. Now on 6th Avenue in New York City. They'll check in with the folks manning the replay.
Sandy Alomar, the first base coach. Sandy Alomar Jr. is going, please be safe. Please be safe. He was putting his wrist guard on and surprise move. And if it's on his head, I don't know if it's one more.
When is it on his head? For a good chunk of time, it felt like, A.J. And I thought, just based on that, Sano may have touched that glove on the helmet before Hernandez's foot got back on the bag. I mean, that's a huge insurance run right now for the Indians waiting at first base.
Sano thought he got him right away. You could see he kind of jumped off right after he tagged him and looked into the dugout like maybe, and then now we have a review and a lengthy one. I always figured when I was playing and they started this, the longer it took, it seemed like they were trying to find a reason to let the play stand.
Right, and doing enough football games over the years, you get the sense that guys don't want to change calls made by their teammates. Umpires, referees, they want to trust their teammates, just like you would if you're part of the team itself on the field. But when it does take this long, we always thought in football that if it takes this long, it's probably inconclusive, and it maybe should stand if it takes this long, if you're getting to this point.
It looked conclusive to me, like he was out.
I would agree with you on that, and it just felt like that was conclusive for us. I guess maybe not so just yet for the folks handling the replay. We'll see what their ultimate decision is here, but it is going to be a big one. Either it's nobody on for the Indians with 2 out, and the Twins trying to keep this at a 2-0 game, or 1 on 1 out, and you have to start dealing with a good chunk of this really tough top half of the Indians lineup.
See, if I'm Lindor, I'm like getting in the conversation. He's standing away, lean back. I'm going over there and trying to listen to what they're saying.
Yeah.
Maybe grabbing Jerry Meals' headset and putting one ear in there.
I mean, and listen, he's wearing the mask. He might be. Let's see what the ruling is going to be. He is out at first. Indeed, the tag applied by Sano on the helmet of Hernandez, and that's a big second out here in the top of the 7th inning. Good challenge by Rocco Baldelli.
Huge out with Ramirez and Lindor coming up here. 2 outs, plus it takes the threat of the stolen base away.
So now base is empty for Ramirez, still 2-0. And Littell deals a good pitch for a strike to start him off. Ramirez singled and scored on the Lindor homer. Ooh, inside. Minnesota's bullpen was excellent last night. 12 batters faced, 12 outs between 4 pitchers who all pitched an inning behind Rich Hill. Just missed with the fastball, and it's 2-1 on Ramirez. Tyler Duffy, Sergio Romo, Tyler Clippard, and then Taylor Rogers teaming up last night out of the bullpen. I almost said Tyler for a 3rd time in that stretch. I was like, Tyler, Sergio, Taylor. I think we got them all.
And that's going to be a strength of the Twins this year.
Yeah.
Rogers closing it out. Romo, Clippard's had a great. Duffy's been good for him. Trevor May.
Ripped down the right field side foul.
Can we get one of those virtual fans, those line drives go into the seats and Mach 7? Can we get like them ducking or someone diving? One of the virtual fans to dive into another
I want to
one?
see 2 virtual fans get into a fight. Can we make that happen somehow? Can we get a fight in the seats down the right field line? There's a 2-2 to Ramirez. And the count runs full. This was an above average bullpen for the Twins last year. 6th in the American League in bullpen ERA. Top 5 in starter ERA. Pitch. Another walk issued by Littell. And a 2-out base runner. Ramirez reaches with 2 outs as he did in the 3rd for Lindor.
Well, that's the formula in baseball now, right? Get 5 innings out of your starter and then use 4 or 5 different guys to get to the 9th inning. And with the offense the Twins have supplied last year and early this year, they figure, hey, if we can get 5 innings out of our starter, we can score enough to protect our starters and our bullpen guys.
Might see some more action in the bullpen coming up for the Twins. Here is Lindor trying to break the game open further after he homered in the 3rd to break the scoring seal. First pitch swinging. Out of the way.
Lindor's been hyper aggressive. He's swinging at everything they throw up there tonight.
Lewis Thorpe, who's been dealing with injury, is back in and ready to go for the Twins. Toss to first. He's already got 1 pickoff in this inning. Figured let's give Ramirez a try.
Should we give him credit for that? Because it looked like more Sano tagging him on the helmet.
Yeah, it felt a little more nonchalant from Cesar than usual. Another toss to first. This time Ramirez back in. Sano put a 2nd tag on him just to make sure. There's Ramirez right back up and right back into stance. 0-1 to Lindor. Off to the left and out of play.
Look, I know they're throwing over to Ramirez and trying to keep him close, but I can't see a possibility where he steals, attempts to steal. Maybe now 0-2. If he gets thrown out, you get a new count with Francisco Lindor, but you want Lindor to hit as many times with guys on base. If he's on first, he's just as much in scoring position for Frankie Lindor as he is on second.
0-2. That one got away from Garver, and into second goes Ramirez with a turn. He'll stay there.
Paul Garver will tell you he probably should have, but again, on a knee, it's hard for him to move.
Yeah, you talked about this earlier on the wild pitch from Barrios, where just the positioning of the legs for Garver makes it a little bit tougher to get to those pitches low, right?
Absolutely, and that wasn't that bad, but with 2 strikes and the possibility of moving the runner up, that's a ball that I guarantee you Mitch Garver will tell you he should have at least knocked down.
I would agree with you. Lindor, the 1-2. Well struck ball towards the gap in right center field, but the speed of Byron Buxton gets into the gap for the out to end the top of the 7th. He almost dove for it, and then he realized, hey, I'm Byron Buxton. I'm one of the fastest dudes in baseball. I don't need to necessarily dive. I'll hit the deck anyway. The out is made. The podcast is sponsored by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Great night in Minneapolis. The only runs on a Lindor homer back in the 3rd. Had a chance to add on in the top of the 7th, but some good defense, the pickoff, and then the Buxton catch keeps the Indians off the board, but they haven't needed a whole lot behind Shane Bieber, who in his first 2 starts of the season has gone 6 innings each time and has been near dominant each time out.
Can we say
Nelson Cruz to start off this 7th inning here?
Dare we say early leader for Cy Young?
Yeah, the classic 2-start Cy Young race. I think it's obviously Shane Bieber for sure. Just the strikeout numbers alone would put him at the top.
So 2-0, Nelly Cruz. This used to be automatic heater. Up 2, don't want to walk him, put the tying run, but this will be a slider.
Cruz will get into it deep to right field, but playable for the right fielder Bradley Zimmer, who moved to the other side with Greg Allen in left.
That was the little slider cutter. Just moves enough to where Nelly Cruz hits it off the end of the bat. Instead of the 2-0 heater, that's a home run. It's a routine fly ball to the right fielder.
I mean, the pitchers keep getting better. They keep getting smarter. They try to stay ahead. They try to be more of tacticians. And yeah, the home run balls keep going up. The pitchers keep winning with strikeouts, and this is the game today. High strikeout totals, high home run totals. They were higher than ever in the history of the game a year ago.
It's because the velocity and the stuff is better for the pitchers, but the hitters are better at hitting home runs. And the difference is now with the strikeouts is the ability of these younger pitchers, especially, to use all of their pitches instead of just a fastball. Used to get a guy
that's the expectation now too, right, AJ? Like, you're expected to use all these pitches right out of the game.
They learn at a younger age. I have a 13-year-old son. You go to these tournaments and you got kids 14, 15 throwing breaking balls and changeups 2-0, where it used to just be, hey, I'm going to throw it down the middle. Everyone wants punch outs now. They want punch outs, power stuff, and home runs on the offensive side. Walks, the 3 true outcomes, right? Walks, home runs, and strikeouts.
We've had that tonight. 2-0 lead, the 2-1.
Okay, so 3-1. He did it with Nelly Cruz, 2-0. Rosario, a free swinger. Does he throw him a cutter, slider? Does he challenge him here? I'm saying he won't, because he hasn't all night.
Yeah, it doesn't really have to challenge him, right, with the stuff that he's had, as he throws a 3-1 curveball in there.
So now as a hitter, you're saying, oh, man, 3-1 curveball. Why would he not throw another curveball? If you can throw it that good, 3-1, you have that much confidence, try it again.
Payoff pitch to Rosario. There's another curveball. The tag applied for the 10th strikeout of the night. 24 strikeouts in less than 13 innings so far from Bieber.
And just a good curveball, 3-2. As a hitter, I know I'm watching the game saying, okay, he's not going to challenge me here. But as a hitter, you just, in the back of your mind, you always think, okay, the pitcher is going to challenge me. But he continues to not do it. And what a note right there. Most by an Indians pitcher in the first 2 starts. But just, it's so hard as a hitter to tell yourself 3-1, 3-2, he's not going to challenge me. And you go back to the dugout and you're like, why is he not challenging me?
So now here's another big bat, a 30 home run guy in Garver a year ago. I mean, Bieber has worked through Donaldson, Polanco, Cruz, and Rosario, and Garver unscathed so far. These are all guys that had 20-plus home runs a year ago. A bunch of them had 30-plus.
Just masterful job here by Bieber.
Garver changed the game with 1 swing. There's a 2-0 from Bieber. Did you feel like you had an advantage as a catcher when you faced a pitcher, just in terms of scouting, anything like that?
No. Hitting's the hardest thing to do in any sport.
Yeah.
And just because you see, my problem was when I knew what was coming, or I thought I would swing at it no matter where it was. So I wish I was dumb sometimes and didn't know.
Well, there's Garver swinging, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
But again, a quality pitch, 2-1.
Yep.
As a hitter, you want to get aggressive, and he throws a perfect slider. So now 2-2, what does he do? He's got so many options again. He can go in, he can go up, he can go down and away with painting it like he's done. He can throw that curveball.
Set up on a 2-2. Another breaking ball, and this time Garver laid off to run the count full.
See, so if I'm Garver right here, all my chips are in on an off-speed pitch. I'm either going, okay, I'm going to sit, slider, curveball, or I'm just going to take, and if he throws the first strike, I'm out. And if he doesn't, I can go to first and act like I was smart.
Let's see it on 3-2. Ran it up there that time, and it's fought off by Garver.
See, he threw the 1. I'm still as a hitter looking off speed. I know Garver had a good swing, but
sure,
there's no way I'm not going up there saying, okay, 3-2. I'm looking for cutter, curveball outside, out over the plate.
Approaching 90 pitches. The payoff here. Throws him with a fastball for called strike 3. 11 strikeouts for Shane Bieber in 7 shutout innings tonight. 25 Ks through 2 starts. Responsible for the only runs in this game. On a 2-run shot back in the 3rd, his starter Shane Bieber has made it stand up with another spectacular performance. The most strikeouts in the first 2 starts of the year in the American League since the flame-throwing Texan Nolan Ryan. Wow. That is company. There's Lewis Thorpe into the game. The left-hander will deal with Carlos Santana, who turns around to bat right-handed and takes the ball.
What a start. Can you say Cy Young?
Swooping breaking ball from the Australian Lewis Thorpe for a strike. I mean, again, just the numbers have been great for Bieber, but the command, the confidence, all that's been more impressive. And how about this Indians rotation in general? They just continue to get it done in the early week. There's a base hit back up the middle for Santana, and he is aboard for the Indians. Well, COVID-19 is limiting access to sports and to play for millions of kids across the country. So that's why Fox Sports is teaming up with Good Sports to restore play and bring sports back to kids in need through donations of brand new equipment. So log on to goodsports.org. You can learn how to help keep some kids in the game. I would love to be a fly on the wall of that dugout as socially distanced as possible for that conversation that Shane Bieber is having right now as he approaches 90 pitches. There's Reyes. Like, what do you even talk to a guy like that about at that point? I mean, he is locked and loaded.
Well, it looks like they were talking about something mechanical, but he's been pretty locked in. So they went down. There's a video room, at least there used to be, right down those steps they came up from. And Carl Willis, ex-Twin great, talking to him about something. I just leave him be. I'm not talking to him. Like, you're dealing. Go get him. He doesn't have the look of somebody that's done, a starting pitcher that's done. And we haven't seen Tito go up and give him the old handshake hug.
There's a breaking ball popped in the air to center. Buxton's there. Reyes is retired. Back to first goes Carlos Santana. One down in the eighth. Bradley Zimmer's spot was due up. We'll go with Jordan Luplow. Pinch hit spot here. With the left-hander on the mound, the right-hander Luplow will stand in.
This is one of the new moves. In the past, you'd see a righty up, ready to come in if they pinch hit, but with the new rule of minimum of 3 hitters, speeds the game up a little bit.
First pitch, Luplow muscles it towards the bag at second. Could be too easily, and Arise will turn it to end the inning. Just like that. Good work by the Aussie, and we head to the bottom of the eighth. Nope. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Ford. Built Ford proud. And by Subway. Picturesque night here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Shane Bieber working into the 8th inning for the Cleveland Indians. He'll have to deal with the bottom of the order for Minnesota here. Arise, Sano, and Buxton. Just 3 hits allowed. 2 of them came in the 6th. He left 2 runners stranded on base there. Pitch number 89 is a first pitch curveball that drops in for a called strike.
And Arise is someone I've heard Twins fans and other people talk that this guy could hit 400 in a year. I don't think it'll ever happen, but say he's the best bat to ball guy the Twins have seen since Rod Carew. That's a big statement.
Oof, wow. He's 23 years old from Venezuela, originally an international free agent. Made his debut last year, 92 games, 109 hits out of the gate for Luis Arise. 1-1. 1-2.
See, he got fooled on that pitch, but he's trying to play it off and act all cool like, oh yeah, I was all over that pitch, but he missed that pitch by a long way. As a hitter, you never want to give credit to the pitcher, so you kind of act cool even though you're like, oh man, I had no chance on that ball.
Yep. There's the 1-2. Thought about it that time on the curve, but laid off to even count at 2-2. Man, Shane Bieber, here he is at 25 years old. Guy was a walk-on in college, but after being drafted just 4 years ago, he's now the ace of the staff, even though guys like Mike Clevenger consider him to be the little brother of the pitching rotation. Trevor Bauer is still a good friend of his. Calls him a little brother. 2-2 is laced towards right field, but right there for the out is Zimmer. And there's one away. You see Shane Bieber a little bit frustrated. Do you think he feels like he missed a pitch there?
I mean, yeah, he got an out, and it took him 5 pitches instead of 3 like he's been doing with everyone else, and he didn't punch him out. So, yeah, he's probably a little frustrated. I mean, he did break his bat, I think. And, yeah, I mean, when you don't punch everybody out, I guess you're going as good as him, yeah. That's frustration.
gets a rise. Now here's Sano. Cold start to the season. Can he get things going? Big hack on the first fastball offering. 0-1. Check swing, appeal down to Jordan Baker, and he says no swing.
So if you're the Twins, you're riding this saying, all right, let's try to get his pitch count to 100. They'll take him out of the game because it doesn't matter who the Indians bring in after this guy. He's not probably going to be as sharp, so you think, all right, we're close to the top of the order. Maybe we have a chance, but it is just so hard with the stuff Bieber's throwing.
Bullpen scuffled a little bit yesterday. Brad Hand pitched on back-to-back nights for the first time this year. Back-to-back days, I should say. He struggled a little bit with his command. Wasn't as sharp. The velo wasn't up. 1-2. He got charged with all 4 runs in the 9th inning against the White Sox yesterday. Just the second loss for the Indians. But the bullpen's been rock solid. The rotation has, as our colleague J.P. Morosi tweeted earlier tonight, it's been the best rotation in baseball through the first week of the season, and Bieber has stood that claim up again. 2-2 to Sano. And there's another strikeout for Shane Bieber, number 12 on the night.
Just pure domination. Breaking balls to get ahead, and then I'm just better than you, Miguel Sano, and I'm going to throw it right past you, right down the middle. And 26 strikeouts.
Oh my goodness.
It's unbelievable.
This is the whole live ball era we're talking about right now. Take that, Carl Spooner. 2 down for Buxton. He's swinging away at the first pitch. An opportunity to go 1-2-3 in this inning.
Yeah, you know why he swung at the first pitch? Because he doesn't
the only
want to
time
tie
he might get a decent pitch to swing at.
He doesn't want to tie Carl Spooner at 27.
Spooner was part of the World Series champion Brooklyn Dodgers in '55, if you're curious. That's fouled off the mask, and it's 0-2.
So we got a chance at history right here. That's why I don't miss being a catcher.
Oh, buddy. Umps and catchers have been getting it early this year. Here's the 0-2 delivery to Buxton. He just fought it off. Congrats to Byron, by the way. He and his wife Lindsay with their 2nd child earlier this month. He's just trying to figure out how to deal with Bieber's curve right now. He was able to fight that off.
That is an emergency hack. Try to get I'm completely fooled. Try to get a piece of it and hope he makes a mistake 0-2, which he hasn't done.
Here's an 0-2. Another swinging strike. The throw down to first. Another strikeout. Shane Bieber has made history through his first 2 starts of 2020. 2-0 game. Greg Allen into right field on the first pitch of the top half of the 9th inning. And Max Kepler is there to retire him for the first out. Proven performance fueled by Gatorade. Is there any doubt who is performing tonight? Shane Bieber, back-to-back impressive starts to begin the season.
And the efficiency, the stuff, the pitches, the location, the velocity, the break, but the efficiency. I mean, unbelievable stuff, and what a showing. He's my early favorite for the Cy Young, I'm just saying.
Yeah, plenty of video highlights to put into the reel for the time being based on what we've seen in the first 2 starts. The most strikeouts in his first 2 starts in the live ball era, tied for the most with Carl Spooner, a guy who, based on some cursory research, didn't have the length of career that Shane Bieber is likely going to see or hope for. Guy who only spent parts of 2 seasons in the big leagues. Got a World Series ring out of it, though, so I guess you can't really, talk too far down on Carl Spooner. In towards the shift. Oh, Sano was shifted all the way over. Now he's got to run back to the bag. It's backed up. Another play at first, and back in safely is Leon.
Have you ever seen so much excitement on a ground ball to the second baseman in your life?
And definitely not from a veteran catcher ever.
I mean, Leon gets absolutely knuckle sandwiched on this ball. Sano, because of the shift, is out of position. He's normally a third baseman. Again, he hasn't played many games there. Rise is like, hurry, hurry. Sano he looks like the tight end going over the middle, and the throw's over his head, and the safety's going to pick it off, and he can't do anything about it.
Just over 30 starts in his career at first base. Guy's been experimented with in right field. That was a few years back for Sano back in 2016. That was an experiment that didn't really work. Hoping that first base works out for him. There's Mercado in the 9 spot, showing bunt, taking a ball.
Why not? If I'm Oscar Mercado, I'm butting it right to Miguel Sano. Make him touch the ball. When we used to get a guy that didn't look comfortable, you'd always say, hey, make that guy touch the ball as much as possible. And right now, Sano hasn't looked exactly comfortable at first base tonight.
First strike for Mercado. See how the Indians played in the 9th inning. As you mentioned, Brad Hand has been out there a couple of times, so he may not be available after pitching in back-to-back days. James Karinchak, who's had a little bit of an adventure at times out of the bullpen, will start to loosen up.
Well, it might be an adventure, but his stuff is off the charts. His minor league career numbers are unbelievable. They're like video game numbers.
Yeah.
And he comes in throwing 100 with a nasty breaking ball. We got to get there first.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Mercado. That's the other way foul.
And again, as good as Karinchak's stuff is going to be, the Twins are like anybody but Shane Bieber at this point.
Yeah, at this point.
Be bringing in Mariano Rivera, and they're like, we'll take a chance with him.
Check swing. Swing, and it's 2-2 on Mercado. He's already had some big moments in his career. Had the game winner in the opening game of this season against Kansas City. Trying to keep the line moving, get back to the top of the order, maybe add some insurance. Minnesota in the bottom of the inning will have the top of the order, so they'll be in good shape to potentially make a comeback if Lewis Thorpe can keep this game where it's at 2-0. This will be fun. 10 meetings between these two, and this is the first one. Series that will go all the way through Sunday. Payoff pitch to Mercado. And he gets him swinging. 2 down. Well, tomorrow it's an all-new SmackDown on Fox. 2 huge championship matches, including the SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley taking on Nikki Cross, the #1 challenger. And then AJ Styles will defend the Intercontinental Championship, plus an all-new Firefly Funhouse on Friday Night SmackDown coming your way on Fox tomorrow. 2 down for Hernandez.
Adam, you mentioned the 10 meetings. It's kind of the Bomba squad and the power of the Twins versus the great starting pitching of the Indians, right? So what will win? The great pitching or the great hitting of the Twins. So far tonight, it's been the Indians, but there's 9 more meetings plus 1 more inning here at least to go.
Off the end of the bat. Over is Kepler, and he will lead off the Minnesota half of the 9th inning. Donaldson will bat second. Last chance. Baseball Night in America takes us to the bottom half of the 9th inning in Minneapolis, and an opportunity for the first big league save for James Karinchak. Right-hander will step in after Brad Hand went each of the last 2 days, so Karinchak with an opportunity as he'll face the top of the Minnesota order, and Max Kepler will take a strike on a breaking ball. Shane Bieber, 27 strikeouts in his first 2 starts, tying the Major League live ball era record. 3-hit shutout baseball tonight. Kepler pops a breaking ball up to the left side and out of play.
28. $27. We couldn't get 28.
Couldn't leave him out there. Are you a little surprised that
No.
what was he at 102?
No, he's too important.
Gotcha. 0-2. Oh, Karinchak getting it done as well. He gets Kepler to chase, and there's 1 down.
This guy's stuff is ridiculous. 30 innings last year in the minor leagues, 74 strikeouts I think he had. Just
insane K numbers in the minors.
I mean, just comes in with 2 pitches, has a funky windup. Wears 99 Rick Vaughn style from Major League.
Yep. Different haircut, drastically, I would say. Here's Donaldson. First pitch swinging, and Donaldson sends it up the right field line. Going out, tough play for the second baseman Hernandez as he called off Santana. 2 down. Karinchak loves it.
And this is the second baseman's ball the whole way. Santana's lying to everybody saying he would have had it. But Cesar Hernandez, that's his ball the whole way. He has the better angle. The ball's going away from Santana. Covers a lot of ground, and the Indians are down to the final out.
Karinchak 1 out away from his first big league save. Here is Polanco, 0 for 3. These 2 teams will play again tomorrow. Mike Clevenger, Randy Dobnak with another spot start for Minnesota. That's the pitching matchup in Game 2. First pitch, strike 2, Polanco. Both these teams expected to be battling for 1 and 2 in the American League Central this year. Popped up. Karinchak holding his breath as he picks up his first Major League save and saves it for Shane Bieber's outstanding second performance of 2020. This pitching staff for the Indians has been the best in baseball the first week of the season. A shutout of the Twins in the opener tonight.
Just absolute domination by Shane Bieber and the Cleveland Indians pitching staff. One mistake by Barrios. Let's not lose the fact of how well he pitched, but that guy right there, Shane Bieber, truly amazing. Major League record, 27 strikeouts his first 2 starts, and just domination. That's all that can be said about him.
Well, impressive stuff from Bieber and the Indians tonight. We'll wrap things up from Minneapolis after this, after a 2-0 Indians win.